Hello. Today we're going to go over how Mac users can do relationship with crosstabs and relationship through correlation. So we're looking at our Advanced Auto Concepts worksheet. And again, for the crosstabs, we're just going to do three particular cases. It's going to be age category and magazines and education level and TV and income level and radio. So we'll do those, and then for the correlation, those will be for crosstabs. For the correlation, we'll do the preference, in my case, the one-seat supercycle preference and lifestyle. So let's get started. So first thing we do is create a new worksheet. And I'll call this income level and radio. So then I go over to data. And I'm going to pick income level. Well, I'm going to first pick, since I'm all the way down here, preference for radio. So Control C, and then go back and paste that into cell B1 and below. Back to data. I scroll to the left and pick up income category. Back to my new worksheet. Then we'll go up to insert pivot table. And I'll keep it on the same worksheet. So I get the framework for building my pivot table. And I'll put income category here and radio preference there. And then I'll just drag radio in here and change it to count. And we see the results. And of course, we can look in defined variables to get what an income category of 1 indicates. And that's the one that is interested, in my case, in the supercycle. You would use the income category that's interested in your particular vehicle. And we can see that the category of radio show that they listen to most with the highest level of interest is category 5, which is pop. So we can double check this by going over to Excel Data Analyst, down to Relate, then over to Crosstabs, select income category, and then radio type. A little bit farther down, radio genre. And we get for income category 1 under 25,000, the shows that they're most interested on with regards to radio are pop and chart, which of course we found to be category 5. Okay, so let's continue on. Go ahead and work on the 3 that I mentioned, and then I'll go over how I did those for the super cycle and the demographic that I have of interest, and then we'll go on to correlation, and I'll show you how to do that next. And as I mentioned on Monday, there's many combinations of demographic and interest in media. We'll just do 3. So I gave an example here of income category and radio. The 3 that I want you to do are income category and magazine, education level and TV, and age category and radio. So we'll take a look at those. Go ahead, spend 15 minutes working on those. Then we'll go over what I got for the 1-seat super cycle, and you can, of course, get the results for the demographic you've defined based on last week's work. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, let's take a look at how we do these. So I have income category and magazines. So I'll go ahead and put my cursor in that list, do an insert, tables and pivot table, and I'll keep it in the existing worksheet. I'll take income category as my column, magazine preference for my row, then come down and do a count instead of a sum. And so we find that for my income category, which again for me is 1, their interest in magazines is going to be category 2. So what we can do is double check these results by coming up to our add-ins, Excel Data Analyst, Relate, cross tabs, and income category, and then down here, magazine type, favorite magazine type. And so we find that music and entertainment is probably one of the good vehicles we can spend our scarce advertising budget on in order to pick up the audience that would be interested in the 1-seat super cycle. You'll have to look at your demographic profile you defined last week to see what your particular income level is interested in terms of magazines. Okay, now let's look at education level and TV. So again, I've got education category and television. I'm going to come over to my insert table, pivot table, going to click on existing worksheet and Then I'm going to take education category over to the columns, favorite television type over to rows. I'll just drag television type down into values, and I'll go, instead of sum, I'll go up to count. And for me, again, it appears that for the education level that I'm interested in, and I have 3, it looks like there's 3 different TV shows that might be of interest to my audience. And let's take a look at the results using Excel Data Analyst. So again, I'll come over to Relate, cross tabs, in this case, education level as my column variable, and then all the way to the bottom, favorite TV show type as my row. So again, if you recall, in my case, I have 3 education categories that were equal: less than high school diploma, and some college. So for TV shows, comedy looks good. Movies and miniseries also pretty high up. And then reality-based TV looks pretty high as well among the less than high school for education level. Okay, so let's finalize this with looking at age category and radio. So again, I put my cursor in the list, go up to Insert, Tables, Pivot Table, click on Existing Worksheet, and then put that in D2 or wherever. Put my age category as the column, radio type as the row, just drag radio type down to values, and then change the sum of radio to the count of radio. And we get the pivot table showing us where I can find my age category. Of course, mine is going to be age category 2. So it looks like radio category 5 would be a good one for me. Let's double check that by going over to Add-ins, Excel Data Analyst, Relate, cross tabs, and then age category as my column variable, and radio type as my row. And it looks like pop and chart are going to be what my particular demographic profile is most interested in. So we've looked at how we're going to get interest from the various characteristics of my demographic persona for magazines, TV, and radio. These are going to be the vehicles that we use to actually reach my audience, my persona, the people who would be interested in buying the one-seat super cycle. But maybe we can go farther and tell marketing how to tailor their messages. In other words, by looking at the lifestyle of the people who are interested in the one-seat super cycle. So let's see how we do that. I'm going to create a new sheet. And then I'm going to come back to data. Let me find it. It's around here someplace. There we go. And I'll just call this come back to data. And I'm going to choose preference for the super cycle. So I'll come over to data. There we go. Go up. Cycle preference. That's me. Go back here. Put that in column A. Okay, save here. Then I'll use lifestyles, and I'll again go back to data. And I'll choose lifestyle 1. Now that now I can compare the cycle preference to lifestyle 1. Let's do an insert, tables, pivot table, existing worksheet. I'll just put it in D2. No, I'm sorry, we're going to be doing, instead, we're going to be doing a regression analysis, I'm sorry, correlation analysis. So let's get rid of this. So to do a correlation analysis, I'm going to use the built-in function in Excel. So I'll just put in correlation here in D. And then that particular function is CORREL. Then the first range that you want to put in the correlation, and then the second range. So my two ranges are A2 to A1001 and B2 to B2000. I'm sorry, to B2 to B1001. So I click OK, and I get a correlation of 78.8%, which is just on the borderline of being strong. Strong is 80% and above. Moderate is between 60 and 80. So this is just at the very cusp of being strong. So this is probably the lifestyle that I want to look at. Now we'll go up to add-ins, and we'll double check our work here. So we go to relate, then this time, instead of crosstabs, we use correlate. So I go to relate, then correlate. And the two that I want to correlate are the preference for the supercycle. And of course, you'd use the preference for the runabout. That's my primary variable. And then I'm going to, let's go ahead and just select all of these as my other variables. Click OK. So there we get the 79, which is just a rounded up from my 78.8. Find that one again. There. And if I look at the other lifestyle choices, this just double checks what I had done. And it turns out that's my highest correlation. And we thought it would be because it's borderline strong. It's between moderate and strong, but it's very close to being a strong correlation. So we can tell marketing that the lifestyle of the people that are interested in my one-seat supercycle are the novelist lifestyle. Marketing can take that and tailor their messages to be the type that would be of interest to a novelist. Now, you'll have to go through yours, and you may not be as lucky. You may not find the first one being a good one. So just go through them, find the one that has the strongest correlation, and that is probably going to be the one to recommend. It could be that all you have is weak correlations in your car and lifestyles, but try each one. And if you have something that is moderate or strong, then you can make that recommendation. For example, here's a weak. So the correlation is 0.5. It's a weak correlation for innovator. So we wouldn't really pass that on. We just say there's no clear lifestyle interest in the car. Now, in my case, there is a clear lifestyle interest. Okay, go ahead. Do that exercise. Let's spend 5 minutes doing that, then we'll wrap up. Okay, so any questions on what we've covered? Now, what we have left, what we'll cover next week, is just the preparation of the report in chapter 15. Of course, you will have been using the template that's already prepared and probably the example work report that I put up there for the supercycle. And again, this is on our Sakai website. Remember that section 6 is unique to your car. The other 5 sections we've done all along in our videos and in classroom. So I just captured that information that we have been doing all along, but it is section 6 where it'll be different. It was the same for the supercycle and the runabout through section 5. Section 6, I have the supercycle and it'll give different results than what you'll have for the 2-seat runabout. Okay, any questions? All right.